Welcome back. It's the Crypto Lunatic, the channel for crypto newbies. And today I asked the question, what are the most undervalued cryptos? What are the most undervalued? Now, in crypto, you find at the moment, especially, you look at things like meme coins, and professional investors will say, don't go into meme coins. They've got no value, no utility. There's no utility. And yet they soar up. But if you want to look at crypto through the lens of being a professional investor, and this definitely isn't investment advice, this is just a little old opinion from little old me to talk about where do you find value? How do you assess where the real value is and what are the most undervalued cryptos based on their assets? So I asked ChatGPT and Perplexity AI to see if there were going to be any overlaps by what they both said. Now, before we go down this route, we take all AI generated content, especially from ChatGPT, with a big pinch of salt because I found it to be a little bit outdated at times. But it's an interesting question, and let me show you how I started this. So join me, my friends, join me on a little journey. So I went and I asked ChatGPT, which of the top 1,000 market cap cryptos are the most undervalued based on total value locked, profits, and infrastructure? So I'm asking them to assess it based on fundamentals, on things that we can actually measure. And they gave me a list. They gave me Pendle Finance, Lido DAO, Hyperliquid, Sui, and Taraxa. And I asked exactly the same question to Perplexity AI. And they gave me a list of coins, which you can read just here. But interestingly, so they also list a few others, which you may want to look into, which I may do in another video. But the two that overlapped, the two that were on both lists were Pendle and Lido DAO. So for this video, I'm just going to look into the two of them. But the reality of this, I just want you to start thinking as an investor, if you are going to go into crypto, if you are going to start looking at fundamentals. Now, why did I ask this question? Let's ask. So undervalued based on total value locked. That is the amount of value that's actually locked into the project. That's something we can measure. Profits. That's something we can measure. And infrastructure. Well, maybe that's slightly less measurable, but it could certainly take into account. So if this was a business, infrastructure would be, do you own the office? There's something of value. There's an asset behind it. So we're looking at all the assets and profits and things that are going into these, and we've come out with two cryptos. So let's first look at Pendle. So here we go. And if we go to all here, we see that Pendle started trading at around about the $1 mark back in 2021, back in April. So it did very little, very little, very little. This is the journey of cryptos during the bear market. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Look at that. Down to 30 cents. Down to even 8 cents here. This is the beauty. I want to point this out because this is where, once you've been through a bull market, you realize the value of keeping an eye on certain projects during a bear market. And all of the hardcore believers would have got in around here. But now it's just started to shoot up. This happened. You can see April last year. So here we go. We got to a peak of $6.76. And it's gone up, it's gone down, it's gone up, it's gone down. And here we are at $3.89. But here are the key stats. Here's what we're looking at. Now, the market cap versus the total value locked for a fair assessment is roughly the same. Now, look how many times more the total value locked is on the market cap, on the actual market cap. So it's roughly 6 times more total value locked than we do actually have market cap, which is clear value. It tells us that there's value way beyond the price and the market cap of this coin. Not only that, We see it's listed on Binance. That's huge. And it's listed on Coinbase. That's huge. So a lot of things stacking up for this when we go down there. So what we look here is circulating supply. So we see that well over half of the circulating supply of versus the total supply is out, which is reasonable. It's reasonable. We'll look into that here. Now we see with stuff like this, because Pendle is a place where you can store value, you can borrow, you can lend. So you would expect big allocations, and you see most of the allocation are with the big boys or big wallets on Binance, on Arbitrum, and the actual Pendle wallet itself. So you would expect that for something like this. But when we go on the site, liberating yield. So you can stake your crypto here and you can earn money from it. It's very solid, very solid. And obviously with the total value locked, it's telling us that this has value way beyond its relatively small 632 million market cap. Now, a 632 million market cap is small enough to have potentially nice gains if it goes big. And it's big enough to be way beyond the rug pull part of the formula. So this is actually a nice place to play in if you're looking for relatively safe bets. Relatively safe bets. So this does indicate that it's in a very strong position. And if we go to social media, we see it's got almost 150,000 followers and maybe not overly active. We see the dates here, but this is a very vanilla platform and it seems to have a critical mass. So maybe not read in too much to the fact that they're not very active on social media. So that's Pendle. And let's look at Lido DAO. So here we go. Let's go to all. And we see here, look, the early investors, or it started trading at $1.84. And we see now, look, it's down. It is down from where it started trading. So, and that was back in 2021. So this has been a project that has been bubbling up and down. So where is all this value coming from? We see it's a slightly bigger market cap than Pendle. But look at this. This is insane. Total value locked, 22 billion. 22 billion, my friends. I mean, that's a lot of value locked for something that's under 1 billion in market cap. That is value. That is value, my friends. And look, we see it listed on Coinbase and Binance. These are all tick boxes. As we go down, we also see that 897 million of the market cap of the supply has been released to a total of 1 billion. So that's again, but it's self-reported. So again, we're going to take a little bit pinch of salt, but that's most of the supply that's out and circulating. So this does represent, it does appear, the Lido DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO, which provides staking infrastructure for multiple blockchain networks. So this is cross-blockchain and provides staking rewards. Now, staking rewards is very easy to look at and think, is there value there? Because we look at how many people are staking, we see the total value locked, and we see massive value here potentially. Now, with things like DAOs, yes, there have been a few cases where the DAOs have gone down and things could go wrong. So we're going to take everything with a pinch of salt, but things look very strong for Lido here. Very strong for Lido DAO. We see over 226,000 followers. We also see a pinned post from the 28th of April, which is very active, with 259 people liking it. So 21 hours. So we see an active social media account here. So it looks to me like Lido DAO is all over it, my friends. It's all over it. And I'd definitely be looking into this. Now, what I will also tell you So here we go. What I will also tell you, we go to holders here, is I don't own any of these. I'm not invested in Pendle and I'm not invested in Lido DAO. This is just me showing you how to look for cryptos if you want to look at them through the lens of where is the value. Now we see here, now with these staking protocols, you would sort of expect this. So to have big amounts. Now, Wintermute, I'm assuming that this is going to be something to do with the actual organization themselves. I haven't looked into this. You could look deeper into this should you wish to do so. And here is their website. Here's their website. They give you 3% APR. So there you go, to stake ETH. And that is where it's all staked. So people stake ETH here and they earn yield. So there you go. Lots of value here. Let's, out of curiosity, let's go and have a look at Lido here. Lido DAO. Let's have a look. And we'll go to fundraising. And we'll see, yes, well, you would expect that the strategic investors have made a lot of money. So they've made decent returns already, 11,000. But if we can compare this to something like Bitcoin, we realize that in the bigger picture, that's not massive. And there's massive value here in Lido. So there you go, my friends. There is just a brief overview of how to actually look for value. Now, in crypto, there's so many other factors that affect price beyond the actual value, the underpinning infrastructure of these projects. But these are just some basic tools to get you asking the right questions. And whether you choose to look into Lido or Pendle, well, that's entirely up to you. Me, I'm not invested in either of them, but I may go back and look into them based on this little video and the research that we've done. But that is how to get you thinking like an investor would. So, my friends, if you've enjoyed this content, you're still watching, you want more of my little updates, then please do subscribe to the channel, show it a bit of love. And if you want another one of my videos, you will find it just there.